We are always told that we have to focus in life to achieve our goals. We can't be distracted or we won't make it. Neuroplasticity is the ability of our brain to change its structure and function throughout our lives in response to our experiences and environment. The same goes for focusing. When we focus on something, we are strengthening the neural connections in our brain that are responsible for attention and concentration. But when we are distracted, we are actually weakening those same neural connections. In other words, it's the ability of our brain to form new neural connections. Just like physical exercise, the more we use our attentional muscles, the stronger they become. When we achieve a goal, no matter how small it may seem, we need to reward ourselves to strengthen the neural connections associated with that behavior. Like I said before, we can't expect ourselves to go from being easily distracted to being able to sit still 4 hours on end without any practice. It takes time and patience to build new habits and train our brains. Our emotions can have a big impact on our ability to focus. Multitasking is often seen as a sign of productivity, but it can actually be counterproductive. When we multitask, we are constantly switching our attention from one task to another. If you're struggling to focus, don't hesitate to seek support from others. By understanding how our brains work and what causes distraction, we can take steps to improve our focus and attention span. Remember to start small, be patient with yourself, seek support when needed, and celebrate your progress along the way with dedication and practice. You can train your brain to focus and achieve your goals. Talk to friends, family members, or mental health professionals about your struggles and ask for their support and guidance. They can offer helpful tips, resources, and encouragement to help you succeed in your journey to train your brain to focus. Remember, you don't have to do this alone. This can lead to decreased focus and difficulty completing tasks. Instead of multitasking, we should focus on one task at a time. Give each task your full attention and focus until it is completed before moving on to the next one. This will help you stay organized, focused, and productive. If we are feeling anxious, stressed, or overwhelmed, it can be difficult to focus on the task at hand. When we don't get enough sleep, we are more likely to feel fatigued, irritable, and unable to concentrate. It's important to prioritize sleep and aim for 7-8 hours of quality sleep per night. Getting enough sleep will help us feel refreshed and focused throughout the day. That's why it's important to find healthy ways to manage our emotions and practice them regularly. Some ways to do this include through meditation, deep breathing exercises, or mindfulness. I personally use Headspace to meditate. It's a great app that guides you through the process and doesn't take much time. It's just 10 minutes a day. There are also many other apps and resources available to help you learn how to control your emotions and focus better. So take some time to explore these options and find what works best for you. Practice it regularly and you'll soon notice an improvement in your ability to stay focused. So don't get discouraged if you find yourself getting distracted a lot. Just keep practicing and eventually it will become easier. For example, if you're trying to read more, treat yourself to a nice cup of tea or coffee after you finish a page or a chapter. If you're trying to focus on your work, take a break to do something you enjoy once you finish a task. By rewarding ourselves, we are reinforcing the behavior of focusing and training our brain to focus. Start by setting aside specific times of the day to focus on your work or studies. During these times, put away all distractions and give yourself the full 100% attention to the task at hand. When we have a clear understanding of why something is important to us, we are more likely to make it a priority and focus on it. For example, if you want to get good grades in school, then you need to focus on your studies. If you want to be successful in your career, then you need to focus on your work. Understanding why something is important to us makes it more meaningful and helps us to see the value in it. So take some time to reflect on why focusing is important to you and write it down somewhere where you can see it often. This will serve as a reminder and motivation for you to stay focused. At first, this may be difficult, but over time it will become easier and you will be able to focus for longer periods of time. You can also use timers to help you stay focused. Set a timer for 25-minute intervals and during that time, focus on the task at hand. When the timer goes off, take a 5-minute break and then set the timer again. This is a technique called Pomodoro, which comes from the Italian word for tomato. It was developed by a student in the 1980s who used a tomato-shaped kitchen timer to pace his work. Well, the first step is to start with small goals. We can't expect ourselves to go from being easily distracted to being able to sit still 4 hours on end without any practice. We need to start with small goals and gradually work our way up. For example, if you're trying to read a book but find yourself getting distracted every few minutes, try setting a goal of just reading one page a day. Once you've mastered that, you can try 2 pages, then 3, and so on. The important thing is to be consistent. Set a daily goal for yourself and stick to it, even if it is just for a few minutes each day. Over time, your brain will start to form new neural connections that will make it easier to focus. The more we repeat certain actions, the stronger these neural connections become. But we have been also told that it's normal to be distracted, that it's part of the human experience. So how do we know what is normal and what is not? And how do we train our brain to focus? I don't want to waste your time with some pseudoscience mumbo-jumbo here. So let's talk about this in terms of habit and neuroplasticity. So when we start something new, like a diet or an exercise routine, we are actually changing the structure of our brain because we are creating new neural connections. So how do we take advantage of neuroplasticity to train our brain to focus? Another thing that we can do is to make it easy to focus. If you want to read more, keep a book by your bed or on the couch so that it is always there when you have free time. Make sure your workspace is clean and organized so that you are not constantly interrupted by things like a messy desk or an overflowing inbox. By making it easy to focus, you'll be more likely to stick to your goals and train your brain to focus. The next thing we can do is to use focus as a muscle. Another thing we can do is to reward ourselves for staying focused. The next step is to be patient with ourselves. Another thing that helps is to understand why focusing is important to us. Another very important point is to learn to control our emotions. Next is to avoid multitasking. Another thing that we must do is to get enough sleep. Sleep deprivation can significantly impair our ability to focus. Finally, seek support. So in conclusion, training your brain to focus is a journey that requires patience, persistence, and self-awareness. If you found this video helpful, please like and share it with your friends. Thank you for watching.